that you have to say things several times before they get through. And so you've heard this before, but try this with your friends. How many Yahwehs are you proposing? Not how many gods. One. Okay, then you say the Father is Yahweh and Jesus is Yahweh. How many Yahwehs does that make? I think that's the essence of the Trinitarian confusion and muddle. This is a zebra, that's a zebra, how many zebras? President Obama is the only one who is currently the President of the USA. No one has the slightest difficulty with that proposition, which I think is exactly parallel to John 17:3. The only one, you can phrase it, who is true God, or truly God. No one else is, it would seem, unless you think there's another President Obama who is the only President Obama other than the one who is the only President Obama. If you're thinking that, you're probably tired or even drunk. They also wrote the word one in Hebrew. You should know the word one in Hebrew. You need an umbrella in the front row if you're hearing these words. Echad. Echad. Practice your guttural German Johann Sebastian Bach CH. That means, guess what? He's got his umbrella. Isn't that easy? Guess what? When you count, you go echad. When you go to the dollar store and it says everything's worth $1, it means echad. So you go to the checkout and they say, this is compound one, $13. It's amazing. Echad. Okay, so there it is. They also wrote the word, they said this. The word one, listen to this, I quote from page whatever it was in this book, page 76, in print, by PhDs, 3 of them. They said the word one is inherently a plural word. And by the million people will buy that. That's what's so frightening. Well, the PhD, I mean, he must know what he's talking about. Come on. He's a PhD, after all. I don't know. I mean, well, the word one, you know, that's a difficult concept. That infuriates me as a teacher of languages. Yahweh cannot be at the same time the triune God as a whole, and also the name of each one of the persons separately. This would be sheer contradiction, since one X cannot be, I think, 3 X's. But Trinitarians are caught in a sort of trap here. They claim that Yahweh means the triune God, but clearly Yahweh means the Father, they say as well, and not the triune God, as in Psalm 110:1, where it says that Yahweh speaks to my Lord. That's one Yahweh, not to mention what's Joe's famous stat, you know, 7,000 times Yahweh, the divine name, clearly means a single person. So we're in trouble trying to say that it means all 3 together. That doesn't stop a current professor writing a book on the triune Yahweh. That's his title. And he's even going back to Justin Martyr, about whom you will hear more next year, to appeal to Genesis 19:24, I say, you know, if you want to make a note of that, where it says that Yahweh rained brimstone from Yahweh. There you got it. 2 Yahwehs. We're home and dry. How come that Solomon gathered the people to Solomon? Is there no allowance for an idiom in another language? Do we have to go through the I'm mad about my flat syndrome and explain that doesn't mean I'm sweating it out on the side of the road changing the tire? Do we have to explain all that? You can have a PhD and write books getting away with that. Robert Morey in his big fat book with Hebrew words and Greek words, he's got a whole paragraph on the 2 Yahwehs. And I wonder if the universe isn't shaking. The 2 Yahwehs. It's terrifying, isn't it? Yeah, but this is, you know, they've got PhDs, so they must know what they're talking about. And I wonder if the universe isn't shaking. The 2 Yahwehs. It's terrifying, isn't it? And I wonder if the universe isn't shaking. And I wonder if the universe isn't shaking.
وقالوا اتخذ الرحمن ولدا لقد جئتم شيئا إدا تكاد السماوات يتفطرن منه وتنشق الأرض وتخر الجبال هدا أن دعوا للرحمن ولدا.
And I wonder if the universe isn't shaking